Using rubrics when grading is fantastic for both the student and the teacher. For students, they get more information than just, say, a point score. They get to see the description for what that band means, and so they know how to proceed. For teachers, we're able to speed up our grading process. And using a rubric inside of Canvas isn't all that complicated, but there is a hiccup, which is that when you want to use the external tool in Google Submission or a Google Doc where it creates a copy for each student, it's not actually possible to just straight up add a rubric the way you would for any other assignment. Hi, I'm Evan. Welcome to the Canvas Tutorial Show. We're going to show you a hack to make that possible. Okay, so how can we use rubrics with Google Docs? And it's all about what you do first. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to our sandbox here. So here I have just a normal assignment. Okay, there's no content in it or anything, and I just created it. And notice that the normal way to add a rubric is out here. I don't know why it's not built into the editor. It makes sense to me as a teacher that I should be able to click rubric from within the editor. I shouldn't have to do that extra clicking to get to it, but that's fine. Okay, so it's out here. So just remember that. We're going to come back and I'm going to show you why it's not going to work the normal way. So if I hit edit and I go to submission, okay, so right here, and this is how we add a Google Doc as a submission type for students. So we're going to hit find, and now I'm going to scroll down to Google Drive Cloud Assignment. Okay, and I'm just going to pick any document really just as a test here. Taking its time. All right, here we go. So what this is going to do now is it's going to actually create a copy for each student. Okay, and so we'll save and publish. Now normally after the fact, okay, we would then be able to right here, you see, click add a rubric. Okay, but we can't. Okay, because this whole thing has become a separate thing. It's now using an external tool. Well, let's go into SpeedGrader. Maybe it's there. So we'll click here. And notice that there is no rubric option here. Okay, so how do we go about doing this? Okay, well, we need to change the order in which we complete some steps. Okay, so I'm going to go back out to home, and I'm just going to create a new assignment. Okay, so right here, and new assignment. We'll just call this Google Docs submission number 2. Go. Oh, there you go. Go number 2. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to actually create the assignment and save it, okay? And then we're going to open it up to this window right here. What we're going to do is we're going to apply the rubric before we set up the external submission, okay? And so I'm going to just click rubric, and you can use whatever rubric you want to. You can find one. Maybe it's a proficiency grading scale, okay? Import that. Get rid of that old one. All right. And right here, you want to make sure that you click use this rubric for assignment grading if you want to be able to have the points that you assign here go directly to the score. Okay, and you can change any of the other checkboxes there. Okay, so create rubric and change. Okay, so now we've got the rubric applied. Now we can go in and go to submission just the same way that we just did for adding the Google Docs submission before. So find, and again we'll go to Google Drive Cloud Assignments. Now I'm not using the Google assignment, that's a different function, and some schools go that route if they're using Google assignments or really kind of trying to integrate with Google Classroom more, but if you're not, then this is the way to go. And we'll just find the same document, submit, select. Okay, so it's all set up there, and I'm going to save and publish. Now notice that there still isn't a rubric under here. Okay, so on this particular page there isn't a rubric, but when I go to SpeedGrader, there it is. Okay, so the rubric does actually apply. So I can click rubric and I can say, oh, this is a 3 and save. automatically adds it to the grade, adds it right there. Okay, so we've looked at how you can basically hack the rubric system so that you can use a Google Doc submission type so that it creates a copy for each student and still use the rubric. It's all about workflow. What do you do first? What do you do second? That kind of thing. Okay. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that follow button right there. Well, that's not where the follow button is, but that's pointing to the message, so that you get every new episode as we post it. As well, make sure you join the Canvas tutorials community so you can post your questions, get feedback from the different community members, as well as participate and solve other people's problems. And finally, if this has been a helpful video, make sure you share this out to others, your colleagues, other Canvas groups on Facebook, so that everybody gets the goodness. Cheers.